You know what it is. Let's go. Geeks are back in the mix. We got Geeks Pod. I think we're gonna call this one number 4. Might be 5. We'll see in the title. We're gonna run through a few things. Got a couple topics. Got to break down this Fury and Ngannou match that just happened. Absolute nonsense. We got UFC Sao Paulo. A couple good fights going on in Brazil, and then we got bare knuckle action. A little bit of ONE FC. Let's start with this Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury situation. Holy crap. This man did not fumble the bag. I repeat, did not fumble the bag. This is going to be one of the most prosperous prize fighters in our generation, and we're watching it right now. He's got so many fights after that. All he had to do was compete with him, with Fury, which was definitely a tall task. Nobody really thought that was going to happen. But in reality, all he had to do was compete, show the people that he can have a chance, and that was going to line up the rest. Let alone he goes out there, basically wins the fight. Dude, he's got Anthony Joshua coming after him. Deontay Wilder's looking at making the crossover to PFL. That'd be crazy as hell. I'm thinking he's the biggest winner of the year. He might be the biggest winner of the half decade. I mean, this guy's an absolute stallion right now. Let's move right. Oh, by the way, we're in Halloween costumes if you couldn't tell. We got Pat McAfee down there. We got our boy Canelo over here with the headgear. And then Front Kick is playing. He's playing his role. Goosey, what's your take? Anybody got any takes? What's going on, dude? This boxing match
Yeah,
is insane, dude.
I'll dive into this one. I think Dana White fumbled the bag, as it turns out, because Francis Ngannou is the baddest man on the planet. Cut it up any way you want. He just went 10 rounds with the heavyweight king right now in boxing. He already was the heavyweight king in the UFC. Obviously, the John Jones fight didn't happen, but those hands were so crisp. His takedown defense was getting there. I don't even know if we need to see him back in MMA, to be honest, at this point, because unless he's fighting John Jones or Sergey Pavlovich, maybe Tom Aspinall, I'm not super interested. He has some huge fights lined up now in boxing, and they got to let him in the club. They were salty. They were hating on Tyson Fury, saying this guy didn't deserve it. Now, obviously, he deserves it. He went out, put on a show, dropped him. It was one of those things. I think that he won the fight, lost the decision, not in terms of it was a major robbery, because you break it down round by round. Tyson probably got the rounds he needed, but in terms of going in there looking to do damage on the other dude, Ngannou definitely got better shots off. And I think that sky's the limit. Now, obviously, he's 37. We're going to have to get the ball rolling. I don't know what his one championship contract is, but if he wants in boxing, he's got the Wilder fight, maybe the Joshua fight. They ranked him number 587 in the world, which is a little bit obvious salt from the rankings in boxing. But either way, the fans are going to want to see it. The fans are going to pay for whatever he does next. And to be honest, I think that Francis Ngannou might be the first ever 0-1 fighter of the year for me. He's probably going to be my pick in the Geek Awards. Just a little heads up.
Just throwing that respect at him. What do you got, Canelo?
I was I liked it. I mean, I don't think Tyson Fury looked the way that Tyson Fury looks in that octagon, but in the ring, excuse me, but I also feel like that it was part of Francis Ngannou's power that made him a little bit hesitant. A lot of people always say Deontay Wilder's the hardest hitting guy in boxing. I would guarantee that Francis hits a lot harder than Deontay Wilder. So once Tyson felt that, I'm sure it was a little hesitant. And then, like Goose was saying, he really won those rounds just from being a boxer, knowing how to win rounds, out jabbing Francis, as minimal as it was. I mean, the striking statistics were really close. Edged out the rounds and got the decision. I don't know how good Francis will do in boxing. I think he should come back to MMA. I think I don't want to say he got lucky, but I think that was about as good as it could have went for him.
Yeah, a lot of discussions about Tyson, like, just trying to really get through that fight, not exactly in there as the killer we usually see. Fishman, you think that was the same kind of Fury that we usually get on a typical night, maybe a Wilder 3 type night?
No, no, definitely not. But then again, Francis came out, and I agree with Goose. I think he was landing the harder strikes. Fury just wasn't in my eyes, he wasn't doing enough to win that fight. But what interests me now is just what's open for Francis. I think he should just go box again and just make another big bag because I mean the PFL, I don't know what he's making over there, but I mean if he could just go back to the Saudis or something like that, he can rake in a lot of cash. So I don't know. He's got some options, so it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out in the next couple days, months, weeks. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
an
I think
interesting
something we
pivot.
figured out too in boxing, obviously power is the big equalizer, because the skills were not on the same level there, but you put that good night switch in both of Francis's hands, and Tyson Fury really didn't know what to do. He probably had never got hit that hard. And I know it's easy to say he got hit by Wilder and all that, but I mean, Wilder, he's got to snap you at the end of his punch perfect to get a shot off. Francis just thuds you. If he's touching you, it's rattling the brain around.
Yeah, no, that's facts. And it's definitely an interesting conversation on like whether he should stay in the boxing realm or if he should go back, because we all know he's got that deal with PFL and they were talking about he's supposed to fight February or something like that. No rumors about an opponent, but you take that boxing match and if it's against anybody that's not Tyson Fury, you're pretty much putting everything back on the table, which is like kind of what I would lean away from. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're going to stay boxing, you got to get the rematch, you know? That's kind of where I stand on that.
Facts. Did you see though they were talking, I guess Deontay Wilder's been dipping his toe in the MMA waters the last few months, and they were saying that we could see potentially a Wilder Ngannou crossover boxing MMA double match.
If it involves any kind of kicking, it's over. Like I think I heard someone say it. I think it was like Dan Hardy or something. They were talking about next matchups, and he was like, "Man, have you seen Deontay Wilder's legs?" He's like, "Can you imagine Francis Ngannou kicking that guy in the calf?" He's like, "It will end in 3 kicks. It will end." So I mean, if they want to do a mixed breed where maybe the gloves are smaller, up the stakes, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of the big puffies and just throw on some MMA mitts, standard boxing, maybe throw in some elbows. I'm game. I'm game because I actually think Ngannou's going to have a massive edge, and I think that's a risk worth taking. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want to get the PFL involved. They were a big component of him even being allowed to do this kind of stuff, you know? So the least he can do is kind of pay it back and give us an absolute banger of a fight where someone's going down.
For
Someone's going
sure.
down.
For sure.
All right, well, let's move into this UFC fight night here. Sao Paulo, Derek Lewis versus Jailton Almeida.
Lou got arrested. You saw that news?
No.
Just
He was
whipping.
flying on the flying going like 130 in a 50 or some shit. He's but he's chilling to go to Brazil. It's not stopping him from going, but
Ain't
not
no
yet.
thing. Just a little money out the pocket. He got that new contract. He's living life, baby.
Yeah, a lot of people want to say, oh man, why is he taking this fight? Why is he doing this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he just signed a massive new contract. And when you sign a contract like that and they ask you to do something, you do it. That's kind of how that works. So yeah, he's gonna go in here. He's gonna try to upset the surging Jailton Almeida. I think we all know how this is gonna go. This guy's shooting in the first 30 seconds, Hamza-esque. Um, this guy probably is the heavyweight Hamza. Like, let's be real here, because we haven't seen him past a few rounds. Like everybody just wants to see this guy's gas tank, but nobody can get him to that point. Going to be really interesting if Derek Lewis can survive these first couple minutes, maybe even the first round or two. I would really love to see that. But Dano, what's your take on this main event? I know that this is a very interesting spiked odds type of fight.
I think you take all your possessions, you take all the money you got, and you throw it on Almeida inside the distance. We've seen this fight before in a little different style, right? We saw Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak on the 3 a.m. our time. We saw that fight go down, and Spivak ragdolled Lewis. Lewis had no answer for him. Like you said, CEO, this is short notice. We know what Almeida is going to do. He's been training for this fight. Who knows what kind of shape Derek Lewis is going to be going into. And I just feel like, yes, he did throw a flying knee out the gate to his last guy. the name's slipping me, but Almeida is way more athletic than that guy. He's gonna be ready for it. This is his time. Main event in Brazil. Plus main event equals five rounds, 5 minute rounds, 25 minutes. There's no way D-Lou's staying in there for that long. Hammer, hammer, hammer inside the distance. Of course, you could say sub, and I'm thinking sub too. Um, but D-Lou in his last couple fights, I hate to be that guy, but he's kind of given up, or looks like he's kind of given up in his past couple fights. He got that big paydays, you guys are saying. I think inside the distance is safe all day.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad take. It's just I had the exact same take on his last fight against Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and then he got absolutely pounder slammed into the next dimension. So that one was tough. What are your guys' looks? Goosey front kick. You guys got anything going down the card? I know this is low key a stack card, like low key.
Yeah.
You go
Let
ahead,
me
Goose.
let me run it up here first though. You guys are overlooking, okay, Jailton Almeida. It's not like he's never faltered before. We look down his record. One of his fights only lasted 16 seconds and he got knocked out in it. So it's happened before. D. Lou is known for that slick uppercut, maybe a little knee flying down the middle. I think the fight definitely ends in round one. D. Lou's odds aren't terrible, but more likely than not, Almeida is going to get him down and probably ground and pound TKO victory here. There are some studs on this card, though. I think Dana White and the boys really did a good job of getting some of the Brazilian firework shows on the card here. The Bonfim Bros, Kaio, Elvis Brenner's been putting on bangers. Fish, who you got your eyes on, big dog?
Here's my Brazilian lay of the week, baby. I got the Bonfim Bros, Kiao Boralho, and I want to throw in. I wanted to. No, I'm not gonna do that to Modestus, but
I was just gonna say I knew you were about to say Vitor, bro. Don't sleep
yeah,
on that boy Modestus.
no, I'm not. That was one I was looking at where it was a tough matchup because I do love my boy Modestus Bukauskas, the underdog king. But no, yeah, I'm just that's probably what I'm gonna ride with the Bonfim Bros and the Baralho out of fighting nerds, or I think that's where he's out of, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see Borallo definitely tested more than he has been to this point. As bad as that A-bus cardio is, he was really putting it on Sean Strickland round one. And we really haven't seen Kaio get pieced up like that. He's gonna definitely take some shots early. If he can get him down, get him through that first round, he takes over from there. I see probably
Yeah,
round two or round three sub. But
yeah,
I think that this will definitely answer some questions people might have about the boy.
yeah. I think with Sean, I think he would just rather stand there. Sean's gonna rather, but Baralho is gonna play it smart. He's gonna try to
True.
take this motherfucker down.
Every single fight, this guy with Cal, he gets that backpack every single time. I mean, this guy's grappling is insane. But dude, looking at this fight, this one just caught my eye. I cannot believe it. Elvis Brenner versus Esteban Ribovics. That is a absolute fireworks show. These
Banger
guys,
alert.
dude, both these young guys just come in there and just absolutely give it their all. I mean, stand up to the max, like high level stand up, and they can both take a massive damage. I mean, this is going to be fireworks. I hope that nobody goes down early. I really want to see it extended just a little bit, just to kind of get a little better feel for both of them. But holy crap, that is a banger. And the last time the Bonfim brothers were on a card together, I believe they swept. And then once they separated them, they started to lose. I think they've got some kind of secret juice when they're all together, and especially in Brazil here. That's going to be a big one, no doubt.
Bro, and let's not act like Bonfim's L was too bad. I mean, he was doing well against the God of War, and then it took a very steep downhill turn for him. Either way, I think he's going to probably bounce back in a big way over Vince Pichel here. Another thing that caught my eye looking at the odds, Eduarda Mora, 9-0. All right, minus 550. Last year, She had a split decision victory over a fighter that was 12-14, and now she's in the UFC minus 550 1 year later. I think that's interesting. I think Montserrat Ruiz might be worth a little sprinkle there. Other than that, I like Modestas Bukauskas as an underdog here. I think he's definitely got some pop. And
Dude, you're on the underdog talk. This guy, Victor Hugo, he's coming out against Daniel Marcos. I think he's fresh off the Contender Series, if I'm correct. This guy's got a lot of hype on him. I think he's like plus 200 or something like that. The line is coming down. Like, you know, the sharps are starting to see that might be a little bit of a closer fight than pictured. But I mean, Daniel Marcos 15-0. This dude's good. Like, well-rounded is the best way to describe Daniel Marcos. But Victor Hugo's kind of got all that pop coming off Contender. So I'm very interested to see like what he's really about, because this is going to be a super big test, just jumping straight into the UFC. I get that he wanted to be on this card. He's Brazilian. It's in Brazil. But I mean, you can imagine they were looking for a fight for Daniel Marcos, and he kind of probably raised his hand. So that's going to be interesting. Anything else on this card, Dano? You got anything else that you want to highlight on this card before we jump into the next segmos?
I know you guys like these young prospects and like these rookies, but what probably top three fight for me on these card is these older guys. We got 34-year-old versus 32-year-old Rodolfo Vieira versus Armin Petrosyan. Hidden on the prelims. I think that's going to be a banger fight. When we first got introduced to Rodolfo Vieira, he was some wizard. He was some world beater. It kind of got exposed a little bit, but in his last couple of fights, we really seen him put it together and become a really complete fighter. On the other hand, you got Armin Petrosyan, who's been there, done that with some real dudes in that division. He's good everywhere. He's always game, and he loves to throw down. If this fight stays on the feet, which I think it will, because even though Rodolfo is really good on the ground, Petrosyan's like that sneaky good on the ground. He'll catch you or he'll slice you up with elbows or something like that. I think this will stay on the feet. I think it's going to be a banger. And I think someone's going to get finished in it. If you are one of those people who like do not go the distance type fights, this is one that I'm really looking at. Hidden on the prelims, two studs.
Facts, dude. And the really interesting part about that is kind of like what you were referring to there is if it spends time on the mat for a little bit longer than you'd like as a Petrosyan better, you're in deep trouble. Like if you're rolling with Rodolfo, you're in big trouble. And if you're standing with Petrosyan, you're also in some big trouble. So it's going to be interesting to see if Rodolfo can get this fight to the mat. I think that's going to kind of be the story of it, is can he get it there? And like we're saying, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, not a wrestler. So I definitely agree with you. I think this fight's going to go one way or the other, and it's not going to see the third round at all. All right, well, let's get into this next one. We got one championship that's coming up. I think it's Friday night at 8, if I'm right, Fish.
Yeah, I believe so.
We got in the co-main, right? It's a jiu-jitsu match. Fish, you know a little bit more about this than me. You want to break it?
So we not gonna cap. I'm not too familiar with all these dudes, but I just love watching one. You know, you get your Muay Thai, kickboxing, submission grappling, MMA. The main event, Jonathan Haggerty and Fabricio de Andrade. That's gonna be a nasty kickboxing event, 145. And then for the middleweight grappling championship, Tai Ruotolo out of San Diego against Magomed. I don't know who that is, but Tai Ruotolo is that dude with that curly afro, and but yeah, that dude's nasty at grappling.
Yeah, it's good to get a nice little switch up. You get to watch some like super high level grappling and straight into the kickboxing, which is like skip all the boring parts of the fights. You know what I'm saying? Like one championship is on to something. It's just they need a little bit more name value in the States. I know they're huge in Asia and all that kind of place, but it would be nice to get like a nice big American star that'd be competing in some of these. I know we had Demetrius Johnson. That was awesome. I mean, don't lie. Like we were all tuned into those.
Facts.
A kid. Let's go. But yeah, they need a little bit more buzz.
One definitely is on the come up though. I like that they're actually like mixing the martial arts and putting them all on showcase too. You know, it really helps break the card up a little bit, give you some different looks. Also, you ever Fridays, bro? The Friday morning Muay Thai, One Championship YouTube every Friday morning. There are some absolute bangers, moves that you're just not really seeing because it's Muay Thai. It's crazy, and always put on a show. They're just hungry dogs wanting to get after it over there in One Championship, dude.
Big dogs. Daniel, you got anything on one?
I am not a huge watcher of one, man.
Fair enough.
Don't really do it.
Well, let's get into the next one. This is our last segment here on this Geeks
Holy
Pod.
crap. My bad to cut you off. So one has an event going on 8:30 a.m. and then again that night at 8 p.m. and then Bkfc has the double back-to-back event.
Nonstop.
Back to
Oh
back.
my god.
Nonstop violence. I mean,
5 cards.
let's talk a little bit about the bare knuckle because we got Julian Lane. Julian Lane coming back out. Always a spectacle. Last time we saw Julian Lane, I think it was at BKFC Orlando. He got kicked out of the venue for talking shit to a fan or something. I
He
mean,
jumped in the ring after that dude. Oh my god, that was crazy. Dude.
just a class act. I mean, just a
It was
class act. The
crazy.
guy, this man Julian Lane is a pure entertainer. He's here for the people. And then, like he was saying, I think that's the Friday night card, and then Saturday morning we're gonna wake up and we're gonna get that mixed rules bare knuckle Muay Thai fight with you have the names on those guys? I don't know.
Sanche and Bokau.
Yeah, two
Oh my
Muay Thai
God.
legends. Like we should definitely know their names. Like we just don't, unfortunately. But we are gonna be tuned in because we're combat fans and we know that this is gonna be absolutely a spectacle. I mean, bare knuckle Muay Thai. What are we talking about here? I mean, I know these guys are old as shit too. Like, I'm not trying to shit on them, but they've been through it, and now they're just about to start clapping each other with bare fists. Like, this is gonna be nuts, dude. What's your guys' take on this? Like, God, this is gonna be damage.
Yeah, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. Muay Thai with the 4-ounce gloves that one's doing is pretty crazy. I think that the bare knuckle is just gonna be out of control. But I guess at the same time, too, if you're hitting each other with elbows and knees, what's a unpadded fist in there? You know, it's kind of going together a little bit, I think. But I'm excited to see how it plays out.
It makes sense that it's over there where like, you know, all this kind of stuff originated. So like you can like get away with it where it's like, you know, this is like what's the word I'm looking for? Like this is like a tradition. Like this is how we started. Like this is bare roots. Like let us live over here. So no one's really, you know, I haven't seen too many contests about it. Like anybody going up in arms about, oh, this is crazy. This is unsafe. Everyone's kind of like, damn, this is freaking sick. Like somebody kill somebody.
Facts, they're paying money, they're signing contracts, no one's forcing them, you know.
Nobody.
But yeah, that's like real underground shit. Bare knuckle bare knuckle Muay Thai, that's about as gritty as it gets, bro.
Yeah, and if you want to watch it, what you got to wake up at Fishman was saying like 9 a.m. I think it runs
7 a.m.
7.
Coffee and violence.
Yeah, like I was saying before, nothing better than waking up on a Saturday morning to bare knuckle Muay Thai. Like, start your weekend, boss. Like, let's get after it. Let's see some gore. But
Facts.
you guys got anything else? I mean, we kind of ran through it all, and
We ripping any fighters of the week?
Oh, let's do Geeks of the Week right quick. Geeks of the Week right quick. If you got them, rip them.
All right, Fish, you first.
Gabriel Bonfim.
That's a good pick. Absolute stallion. Dano.
I'm taking Cal Baralho exposing the fraud once again in Brazil.
CEO.
Damn, you just took mine right out of my mouth. Goose, you go.
All right. Modestus Bukauskas, absolute dog, underdog, baby. Let's go.
All right. Both of my Geeks of the Week have been selected. I will
Damn.
go with Esteban Ribovics because I'm a massive fan of this guy's stand-up. This guy's got heart for days. I mean, he's just going to walk at you and throw 14-punch combinations until he gasses out. I mean, this guy's amazing. I think he's like 22 years old out of Argentina. Big guy on the watch. I think he's going to be a big name. I mean, he got Loic from the PFL vet. Like, I'm pretty sure he was a PFL winner in his debut. And he's going
Pretty crazy.
toe to toe with this guy. I think he's legit. Those are the
Yeah,
Geeks.
no. I will say I would have picked Derek Lewis, but I'm kind of bummed, and I think he's going to get beat up. So Modestus was next in line for me.
Yeah, you were gonna pick Derek Lewis, and then Dano started dropping his take.
No, I knew up front. I'm just like kind of bummed about Derek Lewis being in this situation. You know, it feels like kind of the lamb to the slaughter, but at the same time, he's like a ranked UFC heavyweight, and he's got to fight guys in the rankings. So I get it.
Right. And like Dano, you go.
No, mine's totally off topic. I kind of just want to end with it. So you finish.
Yeah, I was
it,
saying, but
Slam me.
like we're saying, it's like you want to count Derek Lewis out, but you just can't. You just can't do it. It's like, same thing with like Ngannou and Fury this last weekend. It's like it's so easy to say he can't do it, but as soon as he swings at this guy and touches him once, he's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit.
Knockout king shit.
Knockout king shit. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Dano, what do you got?
I know this card's going to be late. We got the Brazil card this weekend. You're going to be up late watching your favorite fighters, watching some awesome fights. But remember to set those alarms early Sunday morning. We got the Miami Dolphins, 9:30 a.m. over in Germany, playing big game this week. Who knows? Maybe if you guys like football, we could even break down the Dolphins game just a little bit in these videos each week because we are big Dolphins fans here. Fish might not be. I don't know who Fish represents, but big Dolphins fans.
Yeah,
Shout
I'm
it
rocking
out.
with the Dolphins.
Let's go.
Huge game this week.
We are 2-0. Expect us. Expect us, motherfuckers. Let's go. We're taking out the Chiefs. We're taking out one of the best teams in football in another country this weekend.
Fuck the Swifties.
Let's go. And for the Broncos that decided to go piss off the Chiefs right before we get them, frig out of here.
Also, back to MMA news.
Count this.
Bobby
70.
Green, Dan Hooker. That's fight of the year contender right there. December 2nd, baby.
Yeah. And all right, let's just sign off. But for my Broncos fans, what's 70? What's $70 to you? $70. All right. We're out. Tons of combat this weekend. Don't miss it. We're live. We're gone.